The disinformation age is upon us, and over the past year there have been several large YouTube channels that have been exposed for relying heavily on AI to help them pump out content at rates impossible for a human to do alone. One example of this is True Crime Case Files, who back in 2024 was pumping out true crime content, videos that were roughly 20 minutes long every day or two. They were massively successful in doing this, creating several videos that saw hundreds of thousands of views, and even one that was just shy of 2 million. The content on this channel though was absolute slop, and not just in the sense that the scripts for these videos were being written by AI, but in the sense that these stories didn't actually exist. The AI and the person behind this channel were just making up true crime stories for the sake of it. The stories, many of which had mature themes of rape, incest, STDs, fetishes and the like, were all completely untrue. The channel's AI secrets began to unravel after details of one of its videos, titled "Husband's Secret Gay Love Affair with Stepson Ends in Grisly Murder," was sent to a journalist named Elizabeth Hernandez. The video described a brutal crime that supposedly took place in Littleton, Colorado, a small town of roughly 45,000. People were asking Hernandez why the news hadn't picked up on the crime, and she soon discovered that the reason was because it didn't actually happen. Nowhere on the channel did it disclose that these stories were fiction. Nowhere on the channel did it disclose that the scripts were AI generated, and nowhere on the channel was anything authentically human. The channel's owner, known only as Paul in order to protect his identity, eventually admitted that the videos were half written by AI, half by him, and that the visuals shown were also AI generated. His channel was fully monetized. He must have been making thousands, with Paul even describing it as a gold rush. The fact that these stories were fake completely defeated the purpose of true crime. And as a result of the deception, and for allegedly breaking YouTube's child safety policy, True Crime Case Files had their channel permanently terminated from the platform. But True Crime Case Files wouldn't be the only true crime channel that was exposed for using AI. JCS Criminal Psychology was one of the most successful true crime channels of all time, even having a subgenre, JCS Inspired, named after them. Their content analysed interrogation footage for interesting crime cases and broke down the interrogation techniques that detectives used, as well as the attempts that criminals went through to try and throw law enforcement off their scent. Their most popular video, What Pretending to be Crazy Looks Like, went viral several years ago, but after frequent issues with monetization, the channel was stop and start for several years. At the end of 2024, however, it came back with a new video, Newlyweds Tell on Each Other, which received instant backlash as people that watched the video were certain that something was off. The video made several obvious mistakes that were uncharacteristic for JCS, such as referring to Ed Sheeran while showing a picture of Tim Minchin during the introduction. The narrators also switched roughly 3/4 of the way into the video, which was both needless and also a strange creative decision.
The detectives re-enter Josh's room 14 minutes later at 5:52 p.m. The other narrator will now be taking you through the second phase of his interrogation.
Worse yet, the replacement narrator was very clearly AI. It spoke with a robotic tone, which made many people look back on the first narrator and realize that it was an AI-generated voice clone of the usual narrator.
Putting everything else aside, just imagine being Josh right now. One moment you're in dreamland and the next you're jolted back into interrogation room reality.
Within one single video, JCS ruined their reputation as people started to wonder whether the script was AI generated too. How much human input was being put into these videos now? Speculation ran supreme, and many people came to the conclusion that following their issues with monetization, JCS decided to sell the channel to someone who is now attempting to pass off as the original creators. The channel took the video down within a few days and has not uploaded ever since. The runaway method has been used by other channels exposed for using AI in their content, such as Ceric Artman, who was exposed by Blooms for being AI generated back in the final weeks of 2024. Ceric Artman was a channel that essentially just summarized episodes of the adult animated show South Park. In doing this, it became insanely popular for whatever reason. Instead of actually watching the episodes, fans of the channel would just watch him discuss the episode, often with very surface level commentary, merely describing what happened. People noticed that the commentary given to the channel seemed a little bit strange, as if jokes were being written into the script that weren't being picked up on during narration. And people noticed that the narrator would go on long tangents about something that has nothing to do with the episode for no reason. People also observed that the editing for the videos seemed really bland. Blooms, the person that exposed Ceric Artman, described it as soulless. But perhaps the largest indication that this channel was reliant on AI was simply its consistency. It uploaded 7 videos, each of substantial lengths, in its first week of existence. This fire rate was much too high for a single human to do. Even small teams would struggle with this level of consistency, and even at that, it's weird to have full teams working on content from the inception of a channel. In truth, this channel was, at least in part, powered by AI. Bloom's video exposing the channel would see over 1 million views, and in response, Ceric Artman would come out with a video of their own, attempting to debunk the allegations. The problem was that the response video cherry-picked arguments that it wanted to debunk. In truth, the crux of the allegations were never addressed, as people in the comment section were very quick to point out. And the reason why was that they couldn't debunk the allegations because they were true. Once the cat was out of the bag, the people behind the channel decided to walk away. Their final video was uploaded on the 2nd of December 2024, and after, it was evident that people were still upset. They were still disliking the video and leaving hate comments, and that was enough for the creators to walk away. It was later revealed by Blooms that the narrator was hired on Fiverr and that he had not in fact seen South Park. It's likely that whoever was behind the channel wanted a safe-sounding American voice in order to trick viewers into thinking that the content was authentic. And if you want more authentic content on YouTube, then don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons if you're enjoying this and you haven't already. As a small channel, it would be most appreciated. That said, not every AI channel is as deceptive as the likes of True Crime Case Files or Ceric Artman, as Kwebbelkop is an example of a content creator who is open and honest about the fact that his content is being generated by ones and zeros. 2 years ago, he made a video titled "My $100 Million GTA Business in Real Life," where he bragged about the fact that he's made millions from online content creation and that he wanted automation to take over his work.
If I want to build tons and tons and tons of channels that will flourish and shine forever, we need to remove the human element. Yes, it sounds crazy, but we need robots, we need computers, we need VTubers.
This video was instantly criticized by thousands who thought that the idea was horrible, soulless, and a cash grab. Kwebbelkop's main channel completely capitulated after this video, and his content is now only getting tens of thousands of views, despite his channel being 15 million subscribers strong. As of writing this, his most recent video only has a measly 15,000 views in a week since its upload. Kwebbelkop's channel that features the most AI is called Blue. It features an AI VTuber which has cloned Kwebbelkop's voice and will supposedly play games. The channel's view count fluctuates massively between videos, with some of them gaining only tens of thousands of views, whereas others gain millions. The video's thumbnails also heavily feature the use of AI, despite Kwebbelkop being one of the richest content creators on the platform. He's generating thumbnails instead of hiring a human artist or graphic designer to work on them for him. These videos have been the subject of heavy criticism, but it appears as though the children that watch Blue simply don't know or don't care. AI content is everywhere on Kwebbelkop's brand, even on his TikTok. Basically everything he uploads is a shoddy example of AI-generated video.
Wow! That's the lens shatter, looking insane!
And despite him having 3.2 million followers on the platform, essentially all of these slot videos can only muster up a few thousand views. While most people using AI-generated content have tried to hide it, Kwebbelkop, to be fair to him, has owned it. But his reputation has forever been destroyed for using this cheat code to expand his wealth. Kwebbelkop is perhaps the most famous YouTuber that's been caught using AI-generated content, but what about one who's more obscure? Enter RKHMedia, a content creator that's recently seen some substantial growth for making long documentary videos about content creators and other famous online characters. Over the past several months, they've made several videos that have reached view counts in the tens of thousands. But as exposed by the Leaping Lemur in December of 2024, this is yet another content creator whose entire channel is generated by AI. And not only that, but this AI-generated YouTube channel allegedly steals scripts and content from other hardworking human creators. Within his video, the Leaping Lemur exposed an instance of RKHMedia stealing content directly from his channel. One instance of this was his Devon Sweeney video, where the Leaping Lemur made a sarcastic remark about chemotherapy surprisingly working for Devon, who had cancer, over natural but unscientifically backed remedies. The AI model that ripped off the Leaping Lemur's work, though, didn't realize that the Leaping Lemur was being sarcastic, and so in RKH's video, he sounded surprised that chemotherapy was being used to treat cancer.
And to all the protesters' surprise, this led to Devon actually beating his cancer only a couple months after taking the doctor's advice.
To everyone's surprise, Devin responded well to the treatment and overcame his cancer just months after following the doctor's recommendations.
On top of this, just like Ceric Artman before him, RKH uploads videos that are much too long, much too frequently to be a single person or even a small team. The channel uploads videos that are often an hour long or even longer several times a week. There's no possible way that even a small team of people would be able to be this consistent. If you look back to the channel's earliest video, it's coincidentally about AI, and it very clearly has an AI-generated voice.
Artificial intelligence is no longer just a concept in sci-fi novels or movies. It's an integral part of our daily lives.
Even the channel's descriptions look like something that ChatGPT would come up with. Especially in recent uploads, it's been using little emojis in its responses. And I've noticed that ChatGPT has also recently introduced emojis. But maybe the most egregious piece of evidence that this channel steals content can be found in their latest video about a TikTok predator named Mark Feely, because 9 minutes into the video there must have been a mistake in editing, because the narrator is speaking over a guy with an English accent who's describing the incident within his own video.
As the stream went on, people started to identify Mark, and soon a mob begins to form after hearing that he came to meet with a minor.
I have to suspect that whoever edited this just forgot to cut out the audio from the video that this was stolen from, so I decided to do a little bit of digging, and when I say that I mean for literally 5 seconds. I literally looked up Mark Feely documentary, and what do you know, the original video is literally the very first one there. It uses the same facts and stats in the same order, and is suspiciously a very similar length. It's almost exact, and there are many other creators that have claimed that RKH have ripped them off too. Within the Leaping Lemurs video, a creator named Bloodspeth spoke about how he had also been a victim of plagiarism. He would make a community post alerting his audience to the plagiarism, but in the 3 months since that post went up, RKHMedia has grown roughly 250%, from 11,000 subscribers to 39,000 and counting. His videos do seem to receive a small amount of dislikes, but it seems as though for the most part, not a lot of people know or even care that this channel is AI. This is one of the fastest growing online documentary channels right now, and it's all based on plagiarism and AI generation. The Leaping Lemurs video only received 15,000 views, and it seems to be the only one right now that has called this channel out. In my recent video about JCS's AI scandal, many people questioned why it was such a bad thing. They said that AI was just another tool to be used. Don't get me wrong, I'm not completely anti-AI, but when it comes to ripping off actual human content creators or pumping content out at rates that humans just can't compete with, getting facts wrong and misinterpreting sarcasm and jokes from the original content, I feel as though it's completely unfair that these talentless hacks should be able to dominate their niches, while humans that put love, effort, and time into their work have their content overshadowed by an AI-generated knockoff that's uploaded 3 days later. Right now, it seems inevitable that this trend is only going to continue as AI is developed further and further. At a certain point in the future, it seems as though we won't be able to tell the difference as easily, leading to more of these channels taking up space instead of independent, human creators. But if you want to make sure you stay in the loop to see other AI channels exposed, make sure you like and subscribe, and check out my video on JCS Criminal Psychology for a deeper breakdown of what's happening. Aside from that, I'd like to thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you later.